So you've seen it, I've seen it. We see it on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. You know what I'm talking about. People acting rich. That's what we're going to talk about here on the Rise by Clyde. We have two segments. First one is gloomy vibes, where I'm going to talk about how people are buying luxury items. Also, I have boss up vibes. We're going to watch an OG talk about how you make your own life crappy. All right. You. Yes, you. I'm talking about you. All right. So, first on Gloomy Vibes, we're going to talk about how people are buying so much. Now, I know we're all in the same economy. Okay. Most of you guys are in America, I would assume. And we all know it's crappy out here. We all know the money is hard to come by at this point in time. And if you got money, guess what? Inflation about to gobble it up. And inflation is only getting worse. So I like to ask, like, how are people acting so how are people buying so many things? How are people buying these how are people buying these luxury items and going on these lavish vacations? That's a good question. And hey, I can't even have the answer to you. I'm sorry, I don't even have the answer for you because I don't know. Hey, I'm not them. I'm not in their life. I'm not looking at their bank account. I'm not pocket watching. But I do know that people out here, you know, acting like they rich. And it's like, are they acting or are they really rich? Now, I would like to think that they are really rich. You probably think that they're really rich, but everybody, you know, it's not as good as it looks. People are struggling in silence, and we're gonna hear this guy talk about how people are buying luxury items. All right, we all see people walking around with these, with jewelry. Well, not jewelry, but we see people walking around with like, the newest name brand things, luxury items. People got the nice, luxury cars. People, somebody just pulled up in a G-Wagon at your job, and you're like, how you pulling up in a G-Wagon? We both work at the same job, working the same money. How are you affording this? Now that's a little bit okay. I know that is probably a little bit of a big example, but I mean, hey, I'm pretty sure you've all seen people walking around with just luxury items, expensive things, expensive vacations. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, what? We're going to have this guy talk about why people are buying luxury items.
Started wondering why people buy luxury. And luxury now has expanded to blenders and cookware, and the luxury market has exploded. Almost 30% of people who buy luxury make under $50,000 a year and can't afford it. It's about accomplishment, it's about status, it's about a lot of stuff. And luxury means you don't have to have it. But through influencing, and et cetera, in the world today, they convince you that there is a need.
Yeah, and yeah, that's what it is. They're kind of convincing you that you need these things when you really don't need these things. You know, they're trying to convince you that you need these, really expensive things, that aren't really and that important in your life, and you're wasting a lot of money. I hope that you're not wasting money out here buying things that you don't need, buying these so-called luxury items. You really need to make sure it's actually good quality and not just making money off making money off of you from a name. You want to make sure that name actually has some quality behind it, and it's not just like a really popular brand. They just good job. They did good marketing. Okay, so does that mean you have to pay because they did all this marketing? That's a question you need to ask yourself. And also, is it actually worth it? Like, is the quality actually good? Yeah, people are only thinking about the now, and not about, you know, later. People doing these uh, you know, what is it called? Get the money now and pay later type of things. People living their life through credit cards that they probably not gonna pay off, don't have any intention on paying off. But yeah, those new things will eventually feel normal. That new car smell is gonna go away. you know, all those vacations are just gonna be pictures, And I'm not saying you shouldn't go on vacations. You should definitely go on vacations. Go see the world, but make sure you're not, using your last dime to go out here. Don't be going on vacations broke. Don't be out here, you know. don't go out on vacation then come back with no money, no money to show for, you know. And I'm not saying I'm not guilty. I'm just saying, hey, we really need to, you know, find a happy medium. Okay, find a happy medium because yeah, it's getting egregious out here. Okay. But yeah, people are buying a lot of luxury items, and yeah, you really don't need them that much. I mean, or at all. I should say you don't need them at all. All right, so here we have another video of a person who's going to talk about like, hey, you don't really need these things, you know? I mean, hey, I know that we already talked about this, but yeah, you really don't need these things, and it's hard to convince yourself that you don't. But I mean, hey, how are you buying these things? Let's hear what he has to say. All right, here we go.
Why does everybody have expensive shoes and cars? And I don't get it, because it seems like everybody's broke, everybody's living off credit cards, nobody has any cash, nobody has reserves. People just keep buying. You know, like we were at Disneyland and I look around and I'm like, how do all these people afford this? I don't get it. It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, so that's just his take on, how he's even seeing people out here who just act like they got it like that, and you're like, how do you got it like that? It's not. He said most people who buy those luxury items are making $50,000 a year. And hey, if you're making under $50,000 a year, you know that $50,000 a year is not that much. you know, yeah. So you really need to take another look in the mirror and see what you're doing here. Um, because mostly poor people are really buying these luxury items, and it's showing. It's showing a lot. Um, so make sure you're not just brainwashing yourself to buy these things that you don't really need, because it's gonna really drain your pockets, and you're gonna be out here broke. And I don't mean regular broke. I mean broke, broke. Like can't pay my rent, broke. Like about to get evicted, broke. All right, so that's why you just need to wait. Hopefully save up a little bit and boss up when you can actually get it. Now, once you do boss up, I do think you should go out there and get that stuff that you want. All that luxury, all those luxury items, go and get them. But boss up first, okay? Don't just go out here and buy, out here buying luxury items, trying to fake it till you make it. Hey, YOLO, I'm just gonna buy whatever I want for now, and then forget about the future me. The future you is gonna catch up, and the future you is gonna be broke, okay? And you're gonna be scrolling on all these, what is it called, social media websites, wondering why you ain't got it. All right, you're gonna be missing out in the long run. You think you're living good now, but you're gonna be watching people in the future, and you're gonna be like, that could be me. But you ain't gonna have the energy at that point to work for what you want to get. So work as much as you can while you're young, while you have the energy, so you can be old like this guy and live your life good. Okay. All right. So this OG, he says, if your life is crappy right now, it's supposed to be that way. Okay. It's supposed to be that way, and I think it should be a motivator. Okay. If you're not if you're a guy, you're not getting girls right now, you're not supposed to get girls. You're supposed to be focusing on your money right now. You got to be focusing on bossing up right now. You know, if you're driving a crappy car right now, you know, your car breaking down every week or every 2 months. You got to buy a new this, buy a new that. You driving hoping it don't break down on the road. You can't take long trips. you know, it's supposed to be that way. You know, I mean, you can blame whoever or whatever you want, but at the end of the day, it's supposed to be that way. That's your motivation to get up and work harder and get to where you need to go, so you don't have to drop this bucket. So you can get girls coming over your house and, calling you up and texting you and stuff. So you can be out in going out where you want to go to vacation where you want to go on vacation, do what you want to do. You're supposed to be that way. All right. So let's hear what this guy has to say about it.
Garage talk. Um, I've said this 1,000 times. I'm gonna say it again because I have a lot of people that call me and they complain about their life and how they're living and all this shit like that, and they don't like the life that they're living. And I always tell them, and it comes across as abrasive sometimes, I guess. But the life that you have is what you're supposed to have. If you have a shitty life right now, you're supposed to have a shitty life right now. Why? Because you created the shit. I've always said that the decisions that you made in the past equates to how you live in the present. The decisions that you make in the present will equate to how you live in the future. So if you make a bunch of bad decisions right now, why would you think that the future is going to be better or different? You are creating this shit real time. I have some people right now that have called me and said, hey man, I have this money and I need you to help me to invest it. Because if I keep it myself, I probably have the propensity to go out and fuck it off. And so I'll help them. Now, I'm not saying, I don't want you motherfuckers calling me and say, hey, help me too. No, I'm not, this is an example. But they're making conscious decisions right now because they want their future to look different. It's that simple. And it's so simple. Like I remember this old joke where a guy went to the doctor said, hey, what's the problem? And then he said, well, every time I do like this, doc, it hurts. And the doctor said, well, stop doing like this. Now, it's kind of like a metaphor, it's a joke, but if shit isn't working, just stop doing it. It's really that simple. But everybody wants to, oh, I gotta go out and buy this car, gotta buy this sound system, buy this new TV, this. And they're not investing in anything. They're not bettering themselves. They're not learning a new skill. They're not doing shit. And so what do you think is gonna happen in the future? You're going to continue to have a shitty life because you're the captain of your own soul, master of your own fate. So if you don't decide to do something different today, because the past is already gone, it's gone. But you can still make decisions today that will help you in your future. And that's why, like, you know, people say me, it's like, man, like, you seem so carefree, but, you know, shit still is hard for me as well. But I made so many different decisions in the past. So the life that I'm living right now, I'm supposed to have it.
Hey, he's supposed to have it. Hey, he's supposed to have it because he worked hard for it and he deserved it, you know? And it's only going to come from hard work. And it's not going to come from these, you know, get rich quick schemes. It's going to take a long time. It's going to be hard. It's not going to be easy, you know? So at the end of the day, you need to really just take accountability for your mistakes and your actions and what you did in the past that led you in this position that you're in right now. You know, I know it's hard for us to admit, you know, it's hard for me to admit sometimes that I made some mistakes and I could have made more money or I could have, you know, landed myself in a better situation. But at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. What matters is right now. What are you going to do today? What are you going to do this week? What are you going to do this month, this year, next year? Not even next year. You need to work about today, okay? You need to start working on it, whatever it is that you're thinking about, working on it today and forget about those mistakes and, move forward from those mistakes, okay? Stop blaming others, Don't blame oppression. Oh, don't blame the system. Don't blame your family members or your friends. At the end of the day, it's you. It's you. You're gonna be the only person there when the dust settles. So you need to make sure um, you're not trying to find excuses to get out of the mess that you got yourself in. The only thing that you can do is boss up for our boss up vibes. And hey, I don't even know how that looks for you, but I'm hoping that you figure that out. 'Cause I don't even know what it looks like for me right now. But hey, you just need to sometimes you need to try and fail. You need to really try out different things and see what works for you. Yeah, there's no shortcuts. Stop looking for shortcuts. You need to really just look at the things that find people who are successful and figure out how they did it. And I promise the way that they found it is it's going to take a long time and it's going to be hard unless it was unless it was illegal. So don't engage in illegal activities. All right. So that is it for the Vibes by Clyde. Please like and subscribe if you like the Vibes by Clyde. There we go.